Hello and welcome. This is Notibot ENG. Tonight, we bring you the latest news from the world's most pressing hotspots. U.S.-Iran tensions are escalating as President Trump ratchets up pressure ahead of crucial talks. Meanwhile, Russia and Ukraine are set to observe a truce during Orthodox Easter celebrations. And in a surprise move, the U.S. has agreed to unfreeze Iranian assets in foreign banks. We'll take you through the key developments and their implications on the global stage. That's what's on our agenda for tonight's Balance of Power, late edition. As tensions in the Middle East continue to escalate, U.S. President Donald Trump is intensifying his pressure on Iran, just days before crucial diplomatic talks. Today, tensions between the U.S. and Iran have escalated as the Islamic Republic continues to assert its dominance in the Middle East. The Strait of Hormuz, a crucial waterway connecting the Persian Gulf to the Arabian Sea, has been closed to shipping for several days, further straining global energy markets. This move by Iran has significant implications for the global economy, with oil prices rising sharply as a result. According to Leon Panetta, former defense secretary under the Obama administration, Tehran's control of the strait gives it substantial leverage in negotiations with the U.S. and other Western powers. This leverage is driving up inflation and fuel costs, making the strait a central point of contention in any broader agreement with Iran. Meanwhile, Representative Debbie Wasserman Schultz, Democrat Florida, points to unresolved fighting in Lebanon and the still-closed Strait of Hormuz as key challenges facing any broader agreement with Iran. The Lebanese conflict has been ongoing for months, with the Islamic State, ISIS, claiming responsibility for several recent attacks. The situation is further complicated by the ongoing standoff between the U.S. and Iran, with the U.S. imposing new sanctions on Iranian officials and entities deemed responsible for the attacks. The implications of this standoff are far-reaching, with potential consequences for global oil supplies and prices. As negotiations between the U.S. and Iran continue, it remains to be seen whether a deal can be reached to ease tensions and restore stability to the region. In a significant move, the United States has announced its decision to lift economic sanctions, paving the way for the potential release of frozen Iranian assets. The U.S. has agreed to unfreeze Iranian assets held in foreign banks, according to a senior Iranian source cited by Reuters. This move is seen as a significant development in the ongoing negotiations between Washington and Tehran in Islamabad. The source described the release of funds as a sign of the U.S.'s seriousness in the talks, indicating that the U.S. is committed to finding a peaceful resolution to the conflict. The negotiations, which have been ongoing for several months, aim to address several key issues, including Iran's nuclear program and its influence in the region. The U.S. has been seeking to ensure that Iran's nuclear program is denuclearized, while Tehran has been resistant to any attempts to limit its capabilities. The release of Iranian assets is linked to the safe passage of Iranian tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, a critical waterway that connects the Persian Gulf to the Gulf of Oman. The U.S. has been concerned about the safety of Iranian vessels in the region, and this move appears to be a compromise that addresses both sides' concerns. The agreement is seen as a positive step towards reducing tensions between the U.S. and Iran. However, it remains to be seen how this move will impact the overall negotiations and whether it will lead to a lasting resolution to the conflict. The U.S. and Iranian governments are expected to provide further details on the agreement in the coming days. As tensions between Russia and Ukraine begin to ease, a surprise move is set to bring a temporary respite to the conflict, marking a unique Easter truce. A fragile truce is set to take hold in the Ukraine war, at least for a brief period. Russian President Vladimir Putin declared a 32-hour Easter ceasefire, beginning at 2 p.m. local time on Saturday, with the aim of giving Ukrainian civilians a much-needed respite from the conflict. However, the truce appears to be already unraveling. Overnight, Russian drone strikes targeted the Ukrainian port city of Odessa, killing at least 2 people. The attacks occurred just hours before the ceasefire was due to come into effect, raising concerns that Moscow may be trying to sabotage the truce. Kyiv has said it is ready to reciprocate, but history suggests that previous ceasefire attempts have been unsuccessful. Both sides have accused each other of breaching previous agreements, and it remains to be seen whether this time will be any different. The Easter truce matters, as it represents a brief window of calm in a conflict that has been raging for months. The Ukrainian government has been under pressure to provide some respite to its civilians, who have been caught in the middle of the fighting. The truce also provides an opportunity for diplomats to re-engage in talks, which have been stalled for months. For now, it remains to be seen whether the truce will hold or if fighting will resume as soon as the ceasefire ends. As tensions between Iran and the United States continue to simmer, key diplomats are set to meet in Islamabad, Pakistan, in a last-ditch effort. A delegation of senior Iranian officials, led by Speaker of the Parliament Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi, has arrived in Islamabad ahead of talks with the United States. The two sides will meet in an attempt to mediate a deal to end the war, which has been escalating in the Middle East. The talks come after President Trump backed down from threats of wide-scale destruction of Iran and agreed to a 2-week ceasefire to suspend the roughly 5-week-long bombing of Iran. However, the status of the negotiations remains tenuous, with both sides warning that the terms of the days-old ceasefire deal between the U.S., Iran, and Israel are not being met. The Iranian delegation's arrival in Islamabad was facilitated by Pakistan, which acted as an intermediary between Washington and Tehran to secure the ceasefire. Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister Mohammad Ishaq Dar expressed hope that the parties would engage constructively, while U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance stated that the U.S. was willing to extend an open hand to negotiate with Iran if they were willing to do so in good faith. Vance also warned that if Iran was trying to play a trick on the U.S., they would find that the negotiating team was not receptive. The ceasefire deal, which was brokered by the U.S., Israel, and Arab states, aimed to reduce violence in Lebanon, but so far, a ceasefire has not been fully implemented. The failure to meet the terms of the deal has raised concerns that the war could escalate further, putting the entire region at risk. The outcome of these talks is crucial in determining the fate of the conflict in the Middle East. As tensions in the Middle East continue to simmer, a surprising incident has emerged from South Africa, targeting a familiar foe. Iran's diplomatic corps in Africa has taken to social media to attack U.S. President Donald Trump, escalating tensions in the region. According to reports, official Iranian accounts, including those of the embassies in South Africa, Nigeria, and Ghana, have launched a barrage of attacks on Trump's policies, particularly with regards to the Strait of Hormuz. The attacks come as a response to a U.S. naval presence in the region, which has been deployed to secure the Strait of Hormuz after a series of attacks on oil tankers and naval vessels. The Iranian embassies have been using Twitter and Facebook to disseminate anti-Trump messages, with some accounts even using hashtags such as #TrumpIsATerrorist and #USIsATerrorist. The attacks have been described as sickening by U.S. officials, who claim that they are an attempt to intimidate American diplomats and undermine U.S. credibility in the region. However, analysts say that the attacks may also be a sign of Iranian frustration with the U.S.'s max pressure campaign, which has included the reimposition of sanctions on Iran. The situation has significant implications for regional stability, as tensions between the U.S. and Iran have been escalating in recent months. The attacks also reflect the increasing importance of the U.S.'s diplomatic efforts in Africa, where Iranian interests are significant. As the U.S. and Iran continue to engage in a war of words, it remains to be seen how this will play out in the region. That's all for today's news recap. Thank you for watching. I'm your name, and I'll see you in the next one. If you want to stay up to date on the latest news, be sure to subscribe to our channel. We'll keep you informed on the stories that matter. Until next time, good night.